6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, assisted by Chatura, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. China offers assistance to overcome economic and COVID challenges. Parliamentary Select Committee on Election Reforms will meet tomorrow. Sugar stocks under the custody of Essential Services Commissioner General will be issued to the market. Only World Health Organization approved rapid antigen test kits are brought to the country. Minister Vimal Weerawansa says no trade union can damage the reputation of the entire teaching community. 1,400 rural canals are being renovated. Foreign news, the World Meteorological Organization says weather-related disasters have increased fivefold. Sports cricket, the one-day international series between Sri Lanka and South Africa will begin tomorrow. Local news in detail now. Chairman of the National People's Congress NPC Standing Committee, Lee Shan-shu, assured Speaker of Parliament Mahindayapa Abeyewardena that the Chinese government will do its utmost to help overcome the economic challenge as well as the COVID challenge in Sri Lanka. Chairman Lee Shan-shu stated the above at the first diplomatic meeting held yesterday between the high-profile delegation of the Parliament of the People's Republic of China and the Parliament of Sri Lanka. The Speaker took his opportunity to thank the Government of China on behalf of all political parties in the Sri Lankan Parliament and the people of Sri Lanka for the unwavering support Sri Lanka has received in protection of Sri Lanka's sovereignty, promotion of economic prosperity, and in the sphere of international diplomacy. Furthermore, the Speaker thanked China for the support Sri Lanka has received in facing the COVID-19 pandemic. The Parliament Select Committee to introduce reforms to elections and polling structure and to present relevant amendments will meet again tomorrow under the patronage of Leader of the House and its Chairman, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Discussions will be held on the three-member review committee appointed to identify shortcomings in the local government election system and to provide solutions to them. Head of Parliament Staff, Kushani Rohanadira, said that the committee members have been invited to attend the discussion. Consumer Affairs Authority has sealed a storage facility at Muthurajawala with 6,000 metric tons of sugar. It has been sealed since they have provided false information stating that there is only 4,000 metric tons of sugar at the place. The sugar stocks has been handed over to the Commissioner General of Essential Services. The Minister of Trade and said that sugar stock will be sold to the consumers under the government guaranteed price. Chairman of the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation, Consultant Dr. Prasanna Gunasena, has emphasized that only rapid antigen test kits approved by the World Health Organization should be brought to the country. He said that the standards would be maintained. Dr. Gunasena mentioned this during a meeting briefing in Colombo to reply to accusations of certain opposition groups that he has allowed friends of government to bring them. Minister Vimal Weerawansa says no trade union or other force can damage the reputation of the country's teaching community. Those trade unions and movements cannot direct teachers and principals in improper ways. The true situation about the salary issue of teachers and principals has been disclosed to the country. Therefore, Minister Vimal Weerawansa said that teachers and principals will consider education of the children in a reasonable manner. Government says that renovations of 1,400 canals had commenced during the past 7 months. They are being renovated under Irrigation Prosperity Program. 5,000 rural canals will be renovated under the program. Government has allocated 1,180 million rupees to the project. It is being implemented under the supervision of the Ministry of Irrigation and State Minister of Mahaweli. It will benefit more than 300,000 farmer families and provide water to cultivate both Yala and Maha seasons. The State Minister Chamal Rajapaksa said that the aim is to increase national food production capacity. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. His Eminence Archbishop Brian Udegway, the Vatican ambassador to Sri Lanka, paid a courtesy call on the Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pieris yesterday at the Foreign Ministry. During the meeting, the Foreign Minister explained that one of his first duties in his previous portfolio as Minister of Education was to confer degree awarding status to the Benedict the 16th Catholic Institute at Bolavalana Nigambo, which was built by the then Defence Secretary and present President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the armed forces. The minister also expressed deep sorrow on the calamitous and horrendous tragedy and the great deal of pain and suffering undergone by the Catholic Church. The minister emphasized the need to have an informed discussion with a view to facilitating to resolve the matters with His Eminence Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit and the Catholic Bishops' Conference at the earliest juncture, while expressing his sincere appreciation for the attention being received by the Catholic Church and Catholics in Sri Lanka. Though they are a minority, the papal nuncio indicated that he has not witnessed similar recognition given to Catholics in other countries. The Apostolic Nuncio suggested that a meeting could be arranged at an early date with a committee of the Bishops' Conference so that the government could discuss the relevant issues with representatives of the Church. The Colombo Stock Exchange All-Share Price Index surpassed 9,000 points today. The ASPI closed at 9,163.13 points as at end of the day, according to the country's main stock exchange. This is the first time in the history of the Colombo Stock Exchange that the ASPI closed above 9,000 points. Turnover for the day was recorded as 14.56 billion rupees. MP Richard Badruddin, who is in custody over the 2019 Easter Sunday terror attacks, has been further remanded until Tuesday. The case was taken up by the Colombo Magistrates Court today. The former minister and his brother were arrested on April 24th for allegedly aiding and abetting the suicide bombers who perpetrated the deadly bombings on 21st April 2019. The Minister of Trade says that stocks of sugar taken into custody of Commissioner General of Essential Services will be issued to the market through Satosa and cooperative outlets. Consumer Affairs Authority seized more than 25,000 metric tons of sugar following raids during the past few days. The stocks of sugar were handed over to the Commissioner General of Essential Services, Major General MD.SP. Nunhalla today. Department of Employment and Manpower says that a series of competitions has been organized in connection with the Vocational Guidance Week. School students, university students, professionals and those who are expecting jobs can take part in the competitions which will be held online. Further information can be obtained by logging into www.dome.gov.lk. That's www.dome.gov.lk website, or by calling over the telephone number 0112 187 131. That's 0112 187 131. Director of Research and International Division of Sri Lanka Technology University, Dr. Nandana Gunawardena says that they can assist to reduce corona deaths and to normalize the country within 1 month. He pointed out that the number of deaths can be reduced by using medicine produced by the university. He said the medicine will help to retain immunity in the body. A special program has commenced to produce organic fertilizer in the Ampara district. It is being implemented by the Samudra Development Department. It will empower 200,000 Samudra families. District Secretary D.N.L. Bandaranaike said that the plan is to create an organic fertilizer producer at each Grama Seva division. 25 metric tons of organic fertilizer are scheduled to be produced from each Gram Seva division. The program is implemented in 400 Gram Seva divisions in the district. Each person has been offered an allowance of 50,000 rupees to produce organic fertilizer. That ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Minister of Health said 2,060 COVID-19 patients were discharged from hospitals and treatment centres as they have recovered from the virus infection. This brings the total number of recoveries reported in the country to 376,216. Sri Lanka has recorded 440,302 cases of COVID-19 to date. According to the epidemiology unit, 54,901 patients are currently under medical care. Meanwhile, the death toll from the novel coronavirus now stands at 9,185, and that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
The Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka will conduct a webinar free of charge on embedding priority UN SDGs in corporate strategy tomorrow from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. via online Zoom platform. The webinar will conclude with a question and answer session where participants will also have an opportunity to discuss practical applications and obtain clarifications via chat option. And that was Watchlight.
World News.
In the headlines, the World Meteorological Organization says weather-related disasters have increased fivefold. Mounting challenges await Taliban amid economy in ruins and mass hunger. Britney Spears' lawyers accuse her father of dragging his feet over conservatorship. World news in detail now. The World Meteorological Organization says the number of weather-related disasters to hit the world has increased fivefold over the past 50 years. However, the number of deaths because of the greater number of storms, floods and droughts has fallen sharply. Scientists say that climate change, more extreme weather and better reporting are behind the rise in these extreme events. But improvements to warning systems have helped limit the number of deaths. The Taliban has been celebrating the withdrawal of US-led NATO forces after 20 years of war, but for millions of Afghans, life remains difficult and uncertain amid a crumbling economy. Government employees have not been paid salaries for months and banks are barely functional. More than 500,000 Afghans have been internally displaced. United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres warned of a looming humanitarian catastrophe, adding that basic services threaten to collapse completely. Britney Spears' lawyers have accused her father, Jamie, of dragging his feet over stepping down from his daughter's conservatorship at her request. Mr. Spears has agreed to relinquish control of the US pop star's finances. He has overseen her multi-million-dollar estate since she was deemed incapable of looking after herself in 2008. This week, her lawyer, Matthew S. Rosengard, demanded he step down as soon as possible, accusing him of trying to extort money from his daughter. Back to the headlines of the world news. The World Meteorological Organization says weather-related disasters have increased fivefold. Mounting challenges await Taliban amid economy in ruins and mass hunger. Britney Spears' lawyers accuse her father of dragging his feet over conservatorship. And that ends World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin pellets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
In development news, as the government officially adopted the policy to meet 70% of the country's electricity generation from renewable energy sources by 2030, the cabinet nod has been given to call for proposals of expression of interest for solar and wind power projects from interested local and foreign investors. Power Minister Gamini Lokage on Monday sought cabinet approval to call expression of interest from local and foreign investors who are interested in financing such projects, prioritizing identified projects over 50 megawatts. And that was development news.
Development news was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin pellets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Sports news in cricket. The one-day international series between Sri Lanka and South Africa will begin tomorrow. The first match will be played as a day and night encounter at the R. Premadasi International Stadium in Colombo. T20 series will commence on the 10th of this month. All matches will be played at the R. Premadasi International Stadium in Colombo. Paralympics. Britain's David Smith retained his Paralympics Bocha individual title with a thrilling victory in Tokyo in the BCI individual event. The 32-year-old trailed Chuelun of Malaysia 2-0 after the first of 4 ends but stormed back to win 4-2. It's Britain's 30th gold medal of the Tokyo Paralympics. Tennis news. Novak Djokovic began his bid for a calendar Grand Slam by eventually easing through against injured Danish qualifier Holger Rune at the US Open. Djokovic won 6-1, 6-7, 5-7, 6-2, 6-1 as Rune, 18, was hampered by cramp from the third set of his Grand Slam debut. Meanwhile, world number 1 Ashley Barty recovered from a second set starter to beat Russian Vera Zvonareva for a place in the US Open second round. The Wimbledon champion was on track for a speedy victory but was made to work for her 6-1, 7-6, 9-7 win later on. And that was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The government has approved a $783 million aloe vera-based herbal medicine manufacturing project titled Dry Zone Rural Economic Development Aloe Vera Project in the Anuradhapura district targeting exports. The cabinet has approved around 66 acres of land on lease basis for over 30 years to Aura Lanka Herbals Private Limited. The total investment of the project is estimated at $783 million, including $300 million as the capital investment. That was business news.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Insurance companies added significant amounts of assets into equities and unit trust in a bid to beat lower yields from the government securities. According to the latest data available through the end of March quarter this year, life insurers have more than doubled the assets they held in the unit trust to 14.1 billion rupees from 6.6 billion rupees a year ago, recording a 114% increase. And that was economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report. The Met Department says a few showers will occur in the western Sabaragamuwa and the northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matra districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the northern, north central, eastern and Nuwa provinces, especially in the evening. And that was the weather report. To end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. China offers assistance to overcome economic and COVID challenges. Parliamentary Select Committee on Election Reforms will meet tomorrow. Sugar stocks under the custody of Essential Services Commissioner General will be issued to the market. Only World Health Organization approved rapid antigen test kits are brought to the country. Minister Vimal Veeravansha says no trade union can damage the reputation of the entire teaching community. 1,400 rural canals are being renovated. Foreign news, the World Meteorological Organization says weather-related disasters have increased fivefold. Sports cricket, one-day international series between Sri Lanka and South Africa will begin tomorrow. And with that, we end this news broadcast.